Hey there YouTube lovers, my name's BB8 and today we are going to talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield sequels. I wanted to talk about this for a while because I think I mentioned it in a video on the last quarter of 2020 and that's what triggered me to talk about Sword and Shield sequels. Since I thought it was Pokemon month, so why not talk about Sword and Shield sequels? I know Sword and Shield sequels are not really on people's minds because of the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which are due this year since they've been anticipated since the release of Pokemon Sun and Moon. But if you think about it, we've had Sword and Shield in 2019, Pokemon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass. Maybe 2022 could be a packed year for Pokemon content. Even though we could get Diamond and Pearl remakes in the spring and Johto in the fall, and we can get DLC within the summer for Sword and Shield 2. That could work. And Generation 9 in 2023. Let's get into it, shall we? So, changes made from Sword and Shield. The trees and the grass have been retextured to look realistic. Because I think Game Freak were quite lazy with the tree texturing. The dam at Motostoke is no longer there, which gives you access to the Galarian coast. You know that giant metal barrier? That has been taken down to make way for the Galarian coast, which has a whole bunch of beaches seen there. And of course, you can finally take your bike to the Isle of Armor without a Corviknight taxi with the Galarian coast. Clara and Avery are now gym leaders on the Isle of Armor, which you can only challenge in post-game. And still, Clara and Avery are still Sword and Shield exclusives, with Clara being exclusive to Sword 2 and Avery exclusive to Shield 2. I would probably buy Sword 2 because of Clara. Peony from the Crown Tundra is now a gym leader. So pretty much Clara, Avery, and Peony are post-game gym leaders. And the new features are you can now dive and free fly with the Rotom bike, finally returning from Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The T-Dex, a new minigame in Pokemon Camp where you can brew 151 types of tea you and your Pokemon can drink. Similar to the Curry Dex in the first game, which means the Curry Dex will return with 100 new types of curry, even though the T-Dex could give you more to do. The 200 remaining Pokemon that haven't appeared in Gala have been added. 16 new Gigantamax forms. Windon is now the same size as the Crown Tundra. With buildings you can now enter and Pokemon you can catch. Which also has Windon Mall and Windon Ferry Terminal, which you can use in the post-game to unlock Kalos. Pokemon can now wear clothes. It's kind of like how you can get clothes for your player character in Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. Maybe in Sword and Shield 2, Pokemon can finally wear clothes. Even though they have to go for a lot of work to get clothes to fit on particular Pokemon. And 50 new, never seen before Pokemon. And 25 new Galarian forms. The new areas would include the Galarian Coast, the subregion of Cymru, Windon, which has been extended, Kalos, Lumiose City, which has been extended to 4 times the size than the original, and the buildings have been re-rendered too. Southern Kalos, an extension to Kalos, the Scepter Skies, the Waters of the Throne, and the Volcano Jewels, like I have said in a DLC video I did in around October. And the story of Sword and Shield is the game starts off with the protagonist, not Victor or Gloria from the first Sword and Shield this time. The protagonist of these games in the sub-region of Cymru, based on Ireland. Your parents come into your room with your new rival, Richard. You and Richard explore the town based on Northern Ireland. Then you go to the Pokemon Professor and get your starter. The starters are the same as the first Sword and Shield: Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. You two both get a starter each, then you battle. Once you two are battled, you make your way to the city in the sub-region of Cymru based on Dublin. When you arrive, you will learn how to battle Pokemon. Then, once you completed the tutorial, you will go to the Cymru Junior League. So technically, the sub-region of Cymru is where you spend the first 2 hours of the game. So technically it's like a tutorial level region if you think about it. Then you complete the league, which gives you access to the Gala region pass. You make your way to the ferry terminal, which takes you straight to another ferry terminal outside of Wedgehurst. There you meet Hop from the first Sword and Shield game. Then he takes you to his lab, where you will meet Sonia, also from the first game. They explain everything that's going on in the Gala region as of late. Then a cinematic cutscene plays of the darkest day that occurred all those years ago. So I think this will be the first Pokemon game with cinematic cutscenes and in-depth storytelling. Because we could get like a whole bunch of anime cutscenes in this game. Then Hop and Sonia explained that a new evil team is trying to bring back the darkest day, like Chairman Rose attempted to in the first Sword and Shield game. You go around the Gala region and defeat the gym leaders once again. So gym leaders like Milo, Nessa, Carbu would all return with some new gym leaders in there too. And every time you leave the gym, a Gigantamax Pokemon stands outside of the gym. Once you defeat, you get a Dynamax fragment. You encounter a different Pokemon depending on the location you're in. Dubwool in Turfield, Gyarados in Hulbury, Centiskorch in Motostoke, and the list goes on. You make it to Windon after all that storytelling. Then you make it to Windon Palace, where you have to go through a maze to get to the entrance. You meet the Queen and her Yampas. One of her Yampas runs off into Windon and gets caught by the Dynamax fragments that affected the other Pokemon earlier in the game. And you have to go and battle her Yampa in Windon. Once defeated, you get knighted by the Queen of Galar. Then you go off to Hammerlock to to fight Team Darkamax, which is the name of the team, to stop the Darkest Day 2 from happening. But it's too late. Alternatus, a new legendary 4 times the strength and size of Eternatus, Hop shows up. With a plan. His plan is to use Zacian and Zamazenta to stop Alternatus. But he remembers that Zacian and Zamazenta were caught 2 years earlier. So 2 descendant Pokemon show up, called Zerpal and Zareen, which are the box art Pokemon of Sword and Shield 2, who were created after Zacian and Zamazenta were caught. You defeat Alternatus, and then the champion shows up, who turned out to be the character you played as in the first Sword and Shield. He explained that he or she, as well as Hop, caught Zacian and Zamazenta 2 years earlier. You get the League Pass, you complete the Pokemon League, and then you've completed the main story, which giving you access to Kalos, the Isle of Armor, and the Crown Tundra from the first game. And of course, this would be one of my favourite ideas, a Pokemon Sword and 2 and Shield 2 Masters Edition. And if you're curious, what would the Master Edition even be? The Masters Edition would include the full Sword and Shield game, the DLC, and includes a download code for either Pokemon Sword Completed Edition or Pokemon Shield Completed Edition. You can choose which Sword and Shield game you can get with the download code, but you can only choose one, so choose wisely. And of course, I cannot talk about a new Pokemon game without talking about some new Pokemon. And of course, this is for the Galarian forms. I know Charjabug's already in Galar, but take it with a grain of salt. So for Grubbin, evolves at level 20, but this time, if you've caught a Grubbin in Windon, it will evolve into Galarian Charjabug. And Galarian Charjabug will evolve into this new Pokemon called Rootle. It will evolve when leveled up and knows U-turn. The height is 6'2", weighs 314 pounds, and the ability is Transport, which raises speed defense of Pokemon that switches in after this Pokemon switches out. Dex, Rootle's tall, sturdy shell provides shelter transportation for lost Grubbins or Charjabugs around Windon, and occasionally provides a safe spot for Vikavolt to land. Its mandibles are strong enough to heft any car in its way, which means Rootles won't come charging towards you when they spot you. You have to get in the way of the road in order to encounter a Rootle in battle. And these can be spotted in the Crown Tundra. Galarian Trico, which is grass and ice type, which means Grovyle and Sceptile will also be grass-ice type. Galarian Torchic, which is ice type, which means Combuskin and Blaziken would also get the treatment, but Blaziken would be renamed to Blizzardkin to fit with the type. And Galarian Mudkip is ice water. Which means Marsh Stomp and Swampert would also get the treatment. For the new Gigantamax forms, Decidueye, Incineroar, Primarina, all echoing with the Galarian forms in the Isle of Armor. Sceptile, Blaziken, and Swampert with the Galarian forms in the Crown Tundra, which means those three wouldn't get one, but they get two Gigantamax forms only because of their Galarian forms and their regular Hoenn appearances. Spiritomb, Lucario, Torterra, Infinite, and Polion all echoing with the Diamond and Pearl remakes, Morpeko, and Poltergeist, as well as the post-game section in Kalos, which means you can get Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja with new Gigantamax forms. And of course, you cannot have a new Pokemon game without a new console to launch with it. So of course, Pokemon Sword 2 and Shield 2 will launch alongside a purple and green Joy-Cons with a copy of either Sword 2 or Shield 2 to go with the console. So guys, what did you think of my idea for a Pokemon Sword 2 and Pokemon Shield 2? I know Sword and Shield 2 wouldn't have been on people's minds for 2021. People would have their minds on Diamond and Pearl remakes. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notifications on. Finally, don't forget to leave a comment when you've subscribed, and I am going to be uploading Pokemon videos until the end of February. I just had to get a Pokemon video out soon, because on Friday, I'm going to be talking about a new foes appeared for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So, that's it for Pokemon Sword 2 and Shield 2. BB8 out.